From the University District neighborhood of the beautiful Motor City, buckle up for your Daily Detroit recorded on February 5th, 2019. Also, before we get any further, happy birthday, Sven.
Hey, thanks so much, man. Thanks for making this non-eventful birthday sound like it's going to be some kind of wild ride or something. I appreciate that. I'm Sven Gustafson, and I'm getting old.
And I'm Jer Stays. How old are you now, man?
I'm old enough that I'm getting email birthday notices from doctors and my mortgage lender. That's how old.
Daily Detroit is brought to you in part by our friends at Bamboo Detroit. With an inclusive community, flexible modern offices, classes, and networking events, Bamboo Detroit helps entrepreneurs and innovative companies launch, land, or expand in Detroit. Become one of their more than 400 members today at bamboodetroit.com.
Ford and GM are making some staffing changes at local production facilities. Ford filed notice with the state that it plans to lay off around 1,000 hourly and salaried workers at its Flat Rock assembly plant this spring. The company says all full-time employees at Flat Rock will be offered positions in other plants. About half of them are expected to move to a plant in Livonia that makes transmissions for the F-150 and Ranger pickup trucks and other vehicles. The Flat Rock plant builds the Lincoln Continental and Ford Mustang. It's moving to a single shift. Ford also plans to use the plant to build hybrid electric autonomous vehicles for release in 2021. Meanwhile, General Motors says it's adding 1,000 jobs at Flint Assembly to help build heavy-duty Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra pickup trucks. GM recently announced the end of production at 4 other U.S. plants, including its Detroit Hamtramck Assembly and Warren Transmission. It says workers in those plants will have first crack at the new positions in Flint. GM this week also started laying off 4,000 white-collar workers as part of efforts to trim $6 billion in costs by 2020. Ford's moves are part of efforts to shift its vehicle lineup from slow-selling cars to trucks and SUVs. Ford is also undergoing a restructuring that is expected to cost $11 billion.
There may be changes coming to bus fares around Metro Detroit, but they won't happen until you get a chance to weigh in. SMART, the suburban bus system, has a new fare structure that aims to match fares with Detroit's system, DDOT. It also will allow for easier transferring between the two systems because, well, there won't be any more transfers. The new fare plan would no longer be trip-based. Instead, bus fare would be available with either a 4-hour or a day pass, with 7-day and 31-day passes also offered. A 4-hour pass would be $2, a full day, $5. 7-day passes are estimated to be $22, and the 31-day pass would be $70. There would be reduced fare options on all of these for qualifying riders, just 50 cents for a 4-hour pass and $29 for the 31-day pass. The passes would also work across the region. There are a few different ways you can give your opinion this week on the plan. There will be public meetings Wednesday and Thursday, and you can just email them at publichearing@smartbus.org until February 9th. And we'll have all the information up on dailydetroit.com.
Coordinated fares. This has been one of the things that transit advocates have been pining for around here for a long time, right?
Absolutely. And it's also kind of sad that advocates have had to pine so long. I'm really glad this step looks like it's happening. This is just the simple stuff that makes things that just works.
It's gotten more difficult to find a place to park in downtown Ferndale. Soon, it'll also get more expensive. The city has broken ground on its new $28 million mixed-use parking structure known as the DOT. We talked about that on a recent episode. Now the city is doubling the rate charged for hourly parking downtown. The city council approved the change Monday night, raising the hourly parking rate from 50 cents to $1 for all metered parking. Hours of enforcement also grow from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday to 11 a.m. to midnight. The changes will go into effect April 1st. The city plans to issue $20 million in bonds to help pay for construction of the parking structure. But officials say having the former surface lot on Troy Street off limits during construction means less revenue to pay off the debt, hence the rate hike. Some residents and downtown business owners say they're concerned the parking rate increase was too high and will hurt businesses already burdened by a shortage of parking spaces. Construction on the new parking deck is expected to take 12 to 15 months.
Sticking with the transportation theme, if you use the Ambassador Bridge to get to or from Canada, have a listen. The Detroit International Bridge Company says it's dropping tolls by $2 from $4.60 to $2.60 starting February 18th. The bridge owners say international commuters have endured the closure of the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, lane closures on the bridge, and other issues for long enough. The Ambassador will also open a third lane during weekday mornings from Windsor into the United States and the afternoons going the other way. The Detroit-Windsor Tunnel returned to round-the-clock service on Sunday following 2 years of renovations.
Jer, you have a little update for us on a previous story, I understand.
Yes, I do. The other week, we broke the news that the Packard plant is on the brink of foreclosure and that it was due, according to their lawyer, to unpaid water bills. That also could do with drainage. This was after the pedestrian bridge crossing Grand Boulevard collapsed and crashed to the ground. Well, here's the couple of updates. First, after we ran our story on Friday, the Detroit Free Press ran a piece Saturday morning that originally missed about 40 properties in question. Their story was updated later in the day with a spokesperson from Wayne County saying that the total bill was about $185,000 for 2016 back taxes. So I followed up on that information with Wayne County for specifics. Not only could I not get a confirmation on that number provided to the Free, we were directed to contact Detroit's Water and Sewerage Department for more information. So I did just that and provided a list of addresses, and now we're beginning the Freedom of Information Act process. The aim is to see what the deal is with these specific properties beyond the fact that Art Express, owners of the Packard, owed a significant bill that's from 2016. We're also coming up on an important date. Later this month is the deadline for payments being made or arranged to avoid foreclosure. We'll find out soon whether the old plant or part of it falls into foreclosure, even if the process drags on with red tape.
It's also notable that we haven't heard any follow-up from Art Express, the city, or the county about how the building will be secured to stop something like that bridge collapse from happening again. It's been strangely quiet, which is weird as, it could have killed somebody, as I mentioned before, and Art Express is, they're touting this multi-million-dollar redevelopment of the Packard plant, and the most visible symbol of that plant just crumbled to the ground.
Today's episode is brought to you in part by Milo Digital. Milo Digital is a full-service digital marketing agency that engineers quality results through data and innovative strategies. Learn more at milodetroit.com.
If you grew up in the 1990s, then you probably remember the messy game show Double Dare on Nickelodeon and its green slime.
That show is one of the ones that is formative to my childhood, Sven.
Yeah, I was more of a you can't do that on television kid. I told you I was getting old. Anyway, Double Dare has since been rebooted for television, and along with it, there's now a live Double Dare show coming to the Fox Theater on Wednesday, May 15th. Mark Summers, the original host, will be hosting the live version with his sidekick, Robin Russo. If you want to be one of the contestants, you need to swing by doubledarelivetour.com. Tickets go on sale Friday, February 8th, starting at 10 a.m., and that's through Ticketmaster. One of the Detroit area's bakeries that deserves more attention is Good Cakes and Bakes. It's just around the corner from us here in the University District, over on Livonia. Now it's expanding to the New Center neighborhood. Eater reports that Good Cakes and Bakes co-owners April and Michelle Anderson will begin working on the build-out of the second location soon. The Avenue of Fashion location opened in 2013. The new location will be at 1415 Holden Street. That's near the Marble Bar and the Recycle Here facilities. It's expected to be completed by this summer.
The Detroitiest of romantic Valentine's Day dates might be Coney's by Candlelight. American Coney Island, one of the famous downtown dueling Coneys, is hosting their annual event on, of course, Valentine's Day, February 14th, from 6 to 8 p.m. No reservations are needed, and the ladies will get complimentary long-stem roses.
Ladies.
There's a second event to take note of, too, and this is for you married folks out there, looking at you, Sven and Shai. The radio station WCSX is throwing Big Jim's House Renewal of the Vows at 11 a.m. on that same morning. 10 couples will renew their vows, officiated by their morning host, Big Jim O'Brien, who is also a very nice guy. The reception will have a coney cake, and the couples get a $50 gift certificate from Viviano Flower Shop. And the public is invited to check this out, too. We'll have a link in the show notes and on Daily Detroit if you want to be a part of this ceremony.
Whatever you do, either both of you get onions or go without. Both of you.
I think that's the same rule for garlic, too, right?
Here's a great excuse to get outdoors in the depths of winter. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources and the organization Michigan Operation Freedom Outdoors is inviting volunteers to go birding on Belle Isle from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Friday, February 15th. You'll go looking for birds in both forest and wetland habitats on Belle Isle Park. Findings will be counted as part of the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's annual Great Backyard Bird Count, which helps assess the health and distribution of bird populations around North America. If the Detroit River isn't frozen over, the DNR says it's common to see redheads, canvasbacks, bufflehead, horned grebes, and other waterfowl. Participation will be limited to just 20 people, so if you want to register, act fast. Call Tom Jones at 734-612-6677. And if you miss out, the DNR Outdoor Adventure Center in Detroit will offer another opportunity to take part in the Great Backyard Bird Count the following Sunday, February 17th at 2 p.m.
So before we go, we wanted to tell you about a quick note I just got from the city of Detroit as we were about to record the show. It's expected that we're going to get a 1/4 inch of ice on the roads overnight, and this is Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, in case you're listening to this later. Road crews from the city and other places around town are getting to work around midnight to load salt into trucks and deliver some of it to first responder centers. The city also says they'll be salting roadways into Wednesday afternoon or up until temperatures hit 32 degrees.
There are also worries with the intense ice that there could be power outages. DTE Energy says that the weight of 1/2 inch of ice on a power line can be the equivalent of a baby grand piano. Picture that. So please be careful out there. And with that, I'm Sven Gustafson.
And I'm Jer Stays. Take care of each other, and we'll see you around Detroit.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.